First off, and to create these playing card roses, you will need a set of playing cards. I prefer bicycle standard playing cards. You will also need gauge jewelry wire that you can get at any arts and crafts store, along with needle nose pliers. I have 2 sizes here. Doesn't really matter which one you use. I'm going to use the gray pliers for this. Now this is a used deck of playing cards, so I do not have a full deck currently in here. I'm just going to shuffle them because it'll make it easier for me to select the cards I would like to use. And since I'm doing roses, I'm going to select the heart cards that I have and pull those out individually. I want at least 5 cards, just in case if I screw up that I have spare. Now in order to fold these cards correctly, we're going to have to split the cards from the center adhesive from the back face and the front face, and we do that by manipulating the card and bending it, hearing it snap, which loosens the middle adhesive from the back and front face. And also we will be tapping each one of the corners on the desk until it starts to bend, where you can get a thumbnail in and start peeling the layers apart from each other. Now I tap all 4 corners just in case if one fights with me. I don't want to go too far and tear the cards, and I just start in another corner and keep pulling until it comes off cleanly. If it does rip, don't worry about it. It just gives your rose a little bit more character. And again, you do that with the front face of the card. You repeat this process with all 5 cards, getting the front faces and the back faces off. Now the front face and back face will give you 2 roses. Each rose consists of 5 faces. I'm going to use the back faces of the playing card, and as you can see, I have 5 of them. Now we're going to start with the center rosebud fold. I picked my cleanest card for the middle rosebud just because I like to have that part extremely pretty. Now we're going to fold the face in towards each other where the color is on the outside, and just fold it perfectly in half, making a nice solid seam. Now you want to open it back up and start rolling each corner into the middle. The card will fight with you wanting to roll in the opposite direction, but just keep it as tight as possible as you're rolling, so when you do eventually fold the center, it will still have a nice curl to the rosebud. Just like that. That's how each individual corner is going to look until you roll each side to meet each other, and you will have a nice diamond shape. When you bend this card in half, the whole it'll fold into a triangle, all being red. Now we're going to do an accordion fold, which is alternating each direction, also known as a fan fold. And just pinch the center as hard as you can until it completely comes close together. Also, one side may become longer than the other, which is okay. You will figure out also which one is easier to open, and keep the tighter half that's rolled to become the very center of the rosebud, and the looser part just to engulf it around. You will also have to pinch the stem of that rosebud to keep the shape. Now we're going to work on the rose petals. Now with this, you're going to take a card and you're going to fold the red on the inside in half and still roll each one of the corners into the center. but the center fold itself is the opposite of the rosebud. So you roll each one of the corners again till they all meet and create a diamond shape. And then when you fold this one in half, you will see that it is white centered and with the red trim, which is exactly how we want it. Again, you're going to do the accordion or fan fold, whatever you would like to call it, throughout the center and just pinch until it is complete. And it will look like a sloppy bow tie. You want to repeat this rose petal fold for the next 3 times until you have 4 rose petals, and then you're going to move on and grab your wire gauge so we can actually put this rose together. You want to make the wire long enough to not only tie these cards and bend these cards together, but also the wire gauge will act as your rose stem. You're going to start with your rosebud. You're going to have to open it up to the center. You're going to then place the center of your wire into the center of that rosebud. Bring it in tight, and this is what the pliers are best used for, is to pulling and pinching the wire along with the cards, and don't worry, you will not rip them if you are gentle. Now we want to turn the wire clockwise and keep it going in that direction. We're going to do a full 180 turn. Where the wires are completely on the opposite side of each other, where there's a nice crisscross in the center. Now you're going to take your pliers and pinch the wire flat. And don't worry that it's going to misshape the rosebud in the very beginning. You can always fold it and manipulate it to reshape the rosebud. Now you're going to take your first rose petal and put it center of the wire and the rosebud, and you're going to give it a full half turn again clockwise. Always keep the wire going in the same direction, otherwise you will be loosening the wire instead of tightening it. Now you want to be sure with every rose petal that you connect to your rose is being pinched and tightened with the wire. When you grab your second rose petal, you want to make it perpendicular to the one before. So it's going to have a white cross or X shape. And you're going to twist again the wire and again pinch and repeat this process until all of your petals are connected. If you get lost, you can always count and make sure that they are each 90 degrees from the other. Once you get that last rose petal connected, you're going to give it multiple twists, again going all clockwise, and then you're going to grab the wire just so that the rose is even in tighter twists all the way down the stem until it's very, very tight, but you can still manipulate it. Now this is the reworking of each back face, so you can reshape these cards into the rose. It does take some time and manipulation. Tightening around it to create a nice rose bud that's partial bloomed. And you can always feather it open just a little bit just to get the right blossom. Now I also made one earlier, again with the back face of the card, that was with a thinner wire to attach, and I'm going to do that now. With the thin wire, however, you do have a tendency to possibly break, snap the wire, because it is a lot more fragile with all the twisting that's going on, where you could just twist the wire straight on off. But I do like to use a thin wire to attach to the thicker stem when I want more than one rose on a single stem. But that is how you create your roses out of playing cards. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for watching.